this is the Live Plus Wireless by a company called Endorphi. They're from Europe, Poland, I believe. So this is a Pixart 3395 powered mouse. I also have the Turtle Beach Burst 2 Air. Very quick side note I forgot to mention, so I'm just cutting this little bit in. This is going to be accompanied by a written review on Neowin. I just wanted to do a quick video to give you my day one impressions of this mouse, but I will put in the description to the review once it's done. It'll take a few days to do that, so check that out once that's up, and yeah, see you in the next one, which is also a 3395. There are a few key differences between both mice, and I've also got the XM2 Wii from Endgame. This has been my go-to gaming mouse for the past year and a bit. I really like this mouse. This uses the Pixart 3370, which is also 1000 Hz, optical Kailh Go switches, and 63 grams of weight. By comparison, 69 grams, Kailh GM 8.0 mechanical switches, so not optical. The Turtle Beach uses Kailh, can't remember the model number, but they're Kailh opticals as well. And that mouse is 43 grams, so considerably lighter than both of these, and you can tell when picking it up as well. But these don't feel heavy. 69 grams versus 63, probably weighs 69 with the grip tapes that I've got installed. They feel really light anyway as it is, so they're not like heavy mice. And both mice have different humps. So the hump on the XM2 Wii is more centralized, it comes inset more. So you feel it in the base, in the ball, in the middle of my palm. Whether I'm claw grip or palm grip, I can still feel it. So that's quite, I mean, some people might like that, some people might not. From comments online, I know that the XM2 Wii wasn't really favoured by too many people. It did have its fans, but the later revised OP1 has a new shape, which a lot of people prefer over this, and the buttons are obviously straight cuts, while there's no sort of curvature to them, whereas on the Live Plus there is a curve similar to the Viper 3 Pro and a few others as well. So it's adopted that kind of styling, which, you know, if you can't beat them, join them. The mouse wheel itself is rubber ringed, really good traction, really good feedback, and all of the buttons on this are mechanical micro switches, so have a listen. Yeah, in terms of movement, the side buttons have a small amount of pre-click travel and not much post. The main click buttons themselves, there is a bit of tiny amount of pre-travel, and then you've got a bit more post-travel as well, but not much. And these buttons can be spammed as well, so I usually adopt a claw grip. Yeah, so for claw grip or palm grip, because the hump is a little further back, I can't feel it until I'm holding it with a palm, this style of palm grip. So now I can feel it on the ball of my palm as I'm gripping it like that. But if I do a claw grip, which would be typically this style for me, I can't feel the back at all now. So now I can modulate the distance and flick accordingly. And because the mouse buttons themselves are curved inwards, concaved, my fingers just seem to rest nicely exactly where that concave shape is, and that works really well. I really like that. Yeah, so for claw and palm grip users, this is ideal. And the shape as well is obviously ambidextrous, but the button's on the left, so right-handers, to be honest. Although I know some people who use the back forward buttons with their ring finger on a right hand on an ambidextrous mouse like this. So yeah, I guess you could use this as a lefty. In terms of build quality and construction, the texturing on the surface is very, very nice. Much nicer than on the Endgame, and I know Endgame have one of the best textured surfaces in the game, but this does attract finger smudges, and if you're a sweaty gamer, then you will. I've seen videos of people with sweat marks all around the mouse and it needs to be wiped. I don't have that issue, but the texture isn't like coarse, it's quite smooth, and you can't feel a texture under the fingernail as well, whereas on this you can even hear it. It almost feels like there's multiple layers of texturing to get that texture on the plastic, and it feels really solid as well. So even though it's a skeleton mouse, you can see it's got multi-layered skeleton underneath. There's like another layer, maybe even 2 more layers underneath, and I think that's what gives it the strength and rigidity. So if I squeeze in the sides, there's no flex whatsoever. Feels solid. Even the top, yeah, there's no give. So whatever they've done with the internal structure, the architecture inside is really good. There's a lot of triangles there, and triangles are some of the strongest shapes in architecture. So yeah, that's going to be why, and it's probably why it's 69 grams as well. The battery isn't huge, it's 500 milliamps, which will give you about 160 hours with the lights off. Speaking of the lights as well, these can be independently customized in the app, which I'll show as well. You can have pulsing, static, multicolored RGB and so on as well. I have noticed with the backlights enabled and set to the pulsing mode, there is a bit of electrical buzz. So if I move the mouse closer, I don't know if it's going to pick it up, but I can hear it with my ear. As I bring it close to the camera, I can hear the sound, the electrical buzz. Turn the LEDs off and the buzz is gone. So that's a quirk. Another quirk is if the mouse goes into standby mode, if you walk away from the PC, then it will turn off. To wake it up, you have to press one of the buttons. You can't wiggle it to wake it up. Likewise, when the PC goes to sleep, or if you put the PC to sleep, then you need to press a button on the keyboard or mouse on this mouse to turn it on. Probably a good thing, because you don't always want the mouse wiggle to wake the PC up anyway, if you brush the desk or something knocks over or something like that. So yeah, that's probably a good thing. I don't mind it at all. In terms of software, we have the Endorphy. There's not really a name for the software, it's just called Endorphy. But it's the way the features work, all of the toggles and everything are the same as what Endgame give you in their software as well. So you can remap all the buttons, you can enable debounce, which is probably going to be important given that they're mechanical switches as time goes on, because the mechanical switches do weaken over time, or soften, sorry. So that may be necessary to tweak. All the lighting, you've got multiple DPI switch ranges. I only use the one 1000 Hertz, so I don't really enable the others. Let's just put that back to 1. You can change the LED of it as well. So clicking on that then gives you a little color selector to change the color of the mouse wheel. It's white at the moment, so I've got it white there. I'm going to turn it off though. I don't really have RGB on, to be honest. Motion sync is there, ripple controllers there, and adapt angle snapping if you use those features. And lift off distance as well. You can also add macros for those that use this function, and then you've got the rear LED control, so I'll turn that off. Add additional setting, the long distance mode for wireless. If your PC is miles away from the mouse, then that might be useful, but it does use more battery as well. This software does not need to be running in the background. If you remap the buttons, for example, it stores it. You've got one of 4 profiles you can select, and it stores those settings to the mouse, so you can close the software and the settings you save. In terms of performance, I think I mentioned it earlier on, but between all 3, the Turtle Beach, XM2 Wii and the Live Plus, tracking, performance, accuracy all seems very close to each other, identical, let's just call it that. All are 1000 Hertz mice. I will put the link to Optimum Tech's video on why a higher polling rate mice may not be preferred. So yeah, just check out that video afterwards as well. In terms of feel in the hands, yeah, I definitely prefer the versatility of the Live Plus over the XM2 Wii. Although this has been my go-to for a while now, but I'm definitely getting used to this. I prefer the sound of the buttons on this than the optical goes on the XM2 Wii, and the Kailh optical switches on the Turtle Beach as well. I prefer this mechanical to those, and it's a lighter press as well. There's no creaky button post travel like on other mice. It's just quick, snappy buttons. So yeah, really good construction, really good performance. This does come with a dock as well, so it is an RGB dock. I've got the lights turned off on that. There's a button on the underside. I'm not going to take that off now because the underside is sticky, so you need to really yank it off to get that off. The cable that comes with it is a paracord super lightweight USB-C, and the magnetic contacts on the back, it just goes on really easily. The mouse wheel will blink blue when it's charging, and it'll go green when it's fully charged. I can't remember how long it takes to fully charge. I think it's like 3 hours, but whenever I'm not using it for gaming, I'm using the MX3 anyway. So I just put it on there so it's always at a state of full charge. And it's just really easy to get it on there. I say that and I struggle there, using the camera at the same time. That's my excuse. But yeah, really good mouse, €99. They do have a where to buy section on the Endorphi website, and all of the stores listed are in Europe. So if you are not in Europe, you may be able to buy this through one of those European stores if they ship to your country, and obviously you'll need to pay whatever the customs are if you get charged. So just keep that in mind. But I think for the price, it's really good. You get a nice dock with it as well. Multiple choice of connectivity. You've got Bluetooth as well. You can use it wired, and it charges whilst it's being used as wired as well. So yeah, really nice mouse. Weight distribution, let's take a look. It is a little rear biased, which is probably fine because the bulk of usage is flicking front first, so you want the front to be lighter than the back, so that probably works quite well. And then the back slope, it does slope longer than other mice I've got. So the Turtle Beach has a sharp slope as well, just like the XM2 Wii. And this one, you do feel the entirety of the slope on the back of your palm when you're doing a palm grip, not so when claw gripping. So yeah, very nice mouse, very nice construction. It feels premium, it looks premium as well, especially when the RGB is off. And the button clicks are really good. The wheel is good. No complaints whatsoever, really. Other than maybe, if I did complain about anything, it would be this bit here where my ring finger rests. So just that star shape there. If there was a grip tape here, it doesn't come with any grip tapes in the box, only comes with spare skates. But a circular grip tape there, such as the Pulsar Super Grips, that would be ideal for me. So I think I'm going to order a box of those grips and put one circle there, and that will sort me out for comfort. Thumb side doesn't need anything at all. It is perfectly comfortable, as is the palm. So yeah, just that one area there, for my fingers anyway at least. Your mileage may vary, but other than that, excellent mouse. One last thing before I go as well, guys. If you did like this review and you want to see more stuff that I review, whether it's computer peripherals, gadgets like this, and anything else, then do hit that like button and subscribe. It really does help. The algorithm does promote this kind of stuff, and it's more incentives to do more reviews really, and just show you some cool stuff that I get sent in for review from time to time. This is a 150 watt power bank, so I haven't done a review of it yet, but I will do. I might do a video, I might do a written, I'm not sure yet. If you do want to see stuff like this, then let me know. Hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned. Thanks once again. Bye bye.